We rejoin Devan as he starts exploring the sea to discover the cause of the missing fish. After looking around, he discovers some items and the corpse of a sea elf. He consults the villagers, but they claim to have never seen sea elves before, and so Devan heads back into the sea, hoping to find some more clues. After further exploration, he finds another sea elf named Triton, who is friendly, if somewhat aloof, who leads him back to the body. Triton explains the missing fish is due to a foul aquatic creature known as an aboleth, and it is probably beyond Devan's powers to deal with. Devan's selfless act is rewarded with a circlet that can grant him great knowledge and the ability to read people's emotions. The next day, the river is turned to blood, and Devan travels to the shrine to check up on Platos and finds some Romulan soldiers, led by Remus, there desecrating the shrine Devan built with such care. Enraged, Devan attacks and manages to take down a few, but despite his righteous indignation, he is captured. Devan is taken back to Romulus and interrogated. He learns Remus is on a divine quest from Bellum to subjugate the region. Also, the Romulans don't believe Platos is a god, and so disregards him. Which is good because the snake helps Devan escape, and together they flee into the wilderness. Will Devan get his revenge on Romulus? Will he ever recover his crown? How useful is Platos? Let's find out now on Dicing with Death.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death. How are you doing today, Ryan?
Hello, I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing quite well indeed. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
What's been going on in Ryan's world of wonders?
I don't know. My world's chugging right along while the world around me is descending into chaos, but hanging in there.
Good.
Yeah. How about you? Have you boarded up your windows?
No, I have not boarded up my windows. Things have been nice and peaceful in Boulder.
Yeah, this isn't a real tree. That's a picture of a tree that I've plastered on the inside of my 2x4s.
Nice. Denver's been getting a little crazy, but Boulder's been pretty nice and calm and peaceful.
Yeah.
They're pushing through some new legislation that should be going to the Colorado House of Representatives.
Sure, that will solve all of our problems.
Yeah, it's a step. Bill's short, but pretty nice. It insists on body cams all the time and actual reporting of incidents up in the chain of command, and requires police officers to report,
actually document when they murder someone,
and it requires them to report when other people behave inappropriately, or else they can get fired. So it creates a lot of accountability for a lot of people.
Progress.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're not tear gassing anyone for the next 28 days, so that's progress.
I heard they broke that curfew.
Did they already tear gas someone?
I heard they broke that already.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It was probably in the autonomous zone, which is a separate country anyways, so
technically that's not America anymore, right? Is it called, you said it was called Chaz?
Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, yes.
Oh my God, what a perfect name.
Yeah.
And what happens in the autonomous zone?
I think they canceled Burning Man, so they're just having it in downtown Seattle instead. I think it's only been 2-3 days, so I think it's pretty mellow. But so far, and I think a lot of the news reports have kind of been outblown. I don't think there's much in the way of like extortion rackets and checkpoints. I think it's mostly like Burning Man in the middle of the city.
So
People
it's the
passing out free food and water and wearing wearing masks and making art in the streets.
So it's like Occupy Wall Street all over again.
Yeah,
Nice.
with masks.
With masks.
Yeah. Have you seen the big Black Lives Matter mural painting thing?
I have seen some, but I don't know the one you're referring to.
It's like painted down the middle of the street.
Chaz?
It's in Chaz. Big community art project.
I haven't seen.
I don't know. So planting gardens, painting the street, taking over the police precinct. Anarchy.
Yes. People hanging out in tents, disobeying the law, making paintings on the sides of buildings. Those rebels.
Mm-hmm.
The Antifa. Antifa, or is it Antifa? I've always thought it was Antifa, but everyone's calling it Antifa these days. I don't know. They're just such dangerous people with these murals and these gardens that they're planting.
I don't know if this is Antifa or...
No,
it seems like that just gets... I think that just gets labeled on... Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the joke, is that 45 always talks about Antifa's gonna destroy the world, and like they're nowhere to be seen.
Do you not say his name? He must not be named.
Oh, okay. I'd like to switch it up. 45 POTUS, the Trumpinator.
It did irk me. I was doing some I don't know, opposition reconnaissance. What's the word for that? I was watching clips from Tucker Carlson's show. And I caught him correcting a typo in Trump's tweet, which irritated. I mean, because that was part of the exchange. He spelled stop STOOP or something like that in his tweet, and then like the governor of Seattle was mocking him and telling him to stoop tweeting and stay out of Washington, like, and not send the military into Washington State or something like that.
Yeah.
But they on Tucker's show, he showed that tweet and there was no typo in it.
Oh,
without even mentioning, and no brackets around it or anything.
They just edited out the extra O.
Yeah, they just like fixed the tweet so it was spelled correctly.
Oh my god! I mean, of all the things to really,
right? And like not even. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
It's so minor, and yet it's so indicative of exactly Tucker Carlson's point of view. Where it's like, oh, we'll just clean up all of this and pretend that these things never happened. And like, it wouldn't even have been that big of a deal, you know?
Yeah,
like,
no.
The president has made a lot of typos in his tweets, if we all remember Kofeve.
Was that a typo or just like a...
I think that was a really bad fat-thumbed, he's on the toilet at like 3 a.m. with a cheeseburger in one hand, just like, coffee! And it just comes out Kofeve. But yeah, it's like the BBC over there. Then you heard about the BBC? Oh, there have been a couple of times that like Boris Johnson has made some sort of remark to a crowd, and then the crowd like laughs at him, and then when the BBC plays the clip, they have like what do you call it?
The laughter.
They edit out the laughter with like noise reduction and background stuff, and so like he'll make the speech, and then you'll hear the light applause, but you won't hear the laughter as well. They've gotten hot water for that a couple of times, or like. He'll say something and then they'll cut it right before people have a chance to laugh at it.
For some reason, I feel like that is better than actually editing it.
Yeah. Editing it is like literally changing.
I mean, it's a gray area, right? Because I'm sure they're processing the audio somehow. So where do you draw the line between like improving the audio for ease of listening and... Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think when people are laughing at a leader though, and then that's important
context of it. Yeah. But I could also imagine a situation where it's distracting to have audience sounds,
perhaps,
or weird background noise, and you would want to rebalance things so you could hear the speaker.
If that was the default, if they always edited out, then I would understand. I don't actually know the situation at BBC. I don't know if that was a stay. We don't want to bring down we don't want people to be laughing at the prime minister. We can't have this. I don't know if it's like Kennedy telling the Freedom Riders that to stop riding because it's like an embarrassing on the national scale, or if it's like, we always mix out the sound. Anyway, enough about real world politics. Let's talk about fictional. I guess it's not politics either. It's
a little bit.
Yeah, a little something.
A little nation building.
Mm-hmm.
Armed Romulans occupying and oppressing their neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shall we pick up?
Yes, let us.
We got the recap at the start before our political interlude.
Yes. And now we are here.
Yeah. Do you recall what time of day it was? So I know that I marched back into the seaside village, which is not on this map, but Sinus is
right
somewhere in this hex. With my snake atop my head, and freaked the fuck out of the villagers here.
Yes.
I think I was given, I was allowed to stay, but it didn't seem like they were.
But they were kind of freaked. Yeah.
Yeah. What is that? What did you just add?
I added a village for you.
Oh, okay. Sure. Cool. So am I staying? I think I was staying overnight despite their
I think you were resting overnight.
Objections despite their sideways glances.
Yeah.
And we'll it's a
dangerous world out there, and the gods would not look kindly on someone who kicked their neighbor out. A person in need is a friend in need is a friend indeed, as they say.
Yeah.
So why don't we flip to the morning?
Do I have any rest? I can still recover MP, I believe, right?
Yes, because you'll have...
Even if I had a strenuous day, I had a rest so I can roll my willpower.
Yes, you had quality sleep, so you can roll...
D willpower.
2D willpower?
Really? And take the best?
I gotta double check my thing, yeah.
I'll pull up. Class rebuild wizard.
I don't remember the details.
Let's see.
Quality sleep.
Is it quality or is it good?
It's quality. It's dry inside a house in a town, protected. There's dogs around. You would know if someone was coming. You can truly let down your guard if you want.
So
2 dice top 1 is what it is.
Okay. So I think, considering that I try to let my guard down, but I don't get that good of sleep.
Right.
I can tell these villagers are suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on edge. Plus, there's those Romulans out there with their ultra spears, hunting me down. Probably, maybe. So.
Yep. But you are alive.
Yeah. Would it be possible to put the MP on the spells page? How do you feel about that?
Yes, that is a thing that can be done.
Or could it be on both and linked? Is that crazy?
Yes, it can be done that way too.
That might be the way to do it.
Yeah.
Just because I imagine I'll probably usually be on the spells page when I'm casting spells, so it'd be most convenient to
that makes perfect
subtract
sense.
MP from there. Could it even automatically subtract MP when I click the spell? That may be cumbersome in case it misclicks, but
that is possible. Yes, I think because the goal is to, when you click a spell, for it to automatically subtract from the number of casts at some point. So having it be MP based would be similar. Yeah. I think in the meantime, you can just use that spell slot at the top where you have that 11 for your active MP. Is that what you're doing?
Oh, no. 11 is my max spells per level.
Okay. I see what you're doing there. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So that way you can track how many more you can add. You only got 2 more to add.
Yeah.
Fun. Do you have any second level spells yet?
No.
No, you just hit 3rd level, right?
No, I just haven't had a chance to go learn spells.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, you will awake in the morning. The people here give you some breakfast, fill your water skins for you, and eagerly see you off.
Yeah, is the river still red with blood? Red of blood? Or has it cleared up?
It has cleared up, yes.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be some like sections where it's still a little bloody, where like the main flow down the middle has cleared, but like the little eddies and on the side are still a little red, and the rocks still have some blood stains on them, and there are crimson colors to the features of the water now, but it's turning clearer.
Well, I say to my serpent, Platos, well, curse is broken for now. But I think the message has been delivered. We'll have our revenge on the Romulans eventually, but for now I think we must return home and rest. And I will travel north.
Okay.
Let's explore some new hexes. One.
Yes, so from that hex you can see there is a wooded area to the southwest.
Yeah. Movement rates, let's see. So I can go 4 by plains. We'll see.
4 by plains,
2.
3 by hills?
Yeah. So that was 1, 2. 3. Let me do my math. So that was 18 movement, and a hill will cost 10. So that would require a forced march.
No, it should be 12 and 10. Each of the planes is 6, right? 6 and 6 is 12.
I went through 3 planes. And
1, 2. You've only moved 3 hexes.
Remember, the movement is subtracted when you leave the hex.
Oh, right. So then it's just been 3 planes and no hills. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
I see.
18 out of 24.
Yeah.
If I force march, would I just go 1 more hex, or would I go?
You would go, because you add 50%, so you would go
to 36.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd only be one
It'd only
more.
be 1 more.
Probably not worth it. So I'll make camp in the plains here. Any interesting sights along the way? Landmarks or people or encounters? Perfectly fine. The answer is no, but figured I'd give you a chance to DM if you're interested.
I appreciate that. It's a little early in the morning. Had my coffee, but it hasn't kicked in yet. Your journey through the plains is fairly uneventful. You see tall grasses. Like knee-high grasses. They stretch on forever. You'll catch the sight of a couple of rising smokestacks. Not smokestacks, but smoke towers. What do you call smoke rising into the sky? I guess
smoke signals?
Yeah, you see the smoke from some towns, some villages.
Which direction? West?
You would have seen them from the southwest, closer to those woods that you saw, but they were out of your way. And then as you head into the hills, you'll probably see some smoke coming from the direction of Romulus. Yeah, Romulus.
Yeah, I think Romulus is a ways away, but
it's about 5 miles away. And I think you can see
only 1 hex. I thought it was 2, but okay. In any case.
But that's it for that day. No monsters of any kind. No people to run into. Let's go to the next day.
And I believe sleeping in the woods, you don't gain any MP, right?
No, it's still 1d will.
It's still good sleep?
Or activity, but good sleep, yeah.
Okay.
That's 1 die.
What is other sleep? So if I get interrupted, it would not be anything?
Right, yeah. Other is anything less than good.
Where's the description of good? Okay. Good sleep is warm, dry, and uninterrupted. Okay, so if it were raining or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or like packs of wolves were scaring you off or whatnot.
Right.
Or there was an encounter. Your next day is going to be uninterrupted as well. You will probably see the stray civilian leading a flock of goats somewhere. Goats are the main herd animal of this area, with a few sheep as well. Mm-hmm. But these hills don't have enough grasses to support horses, really, or cattle at all. Maybe the stray donkey here or there. Mostly goats and sheep.
Don't have any rations noted on my sheet, so I would go and trade for food.
Ah, yes. You can approach one of these goat herders.
Greetings, shepherd.
Hello there, she says to you.
What? was that common?
Hello there.
Oh, okay. Your peasant Neal accent was.
Oh, what's the old woman accent?
Well, greetings, shepherd. I am a hungry traveler. I'm wondering if you might part with one of your goats for a spot of silver. Or
a full goat?
I mean...
I guess you can't part with half a goat, can you?
I shrug, you could, but...
Yeah, she'll sell you a goat.
I am a proficient shepherd. So I will consult your economic sheet and see how much a market rate for a goat is. If you have one on there.
I do believe they're on there. I have to find it myself.
Aminals. Goat, 200 copper.
Pretty pricey.
That is pricey.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll pay it.
Okay.
Will she sell me a goat?
She will sell you a goat for 200 copper.
Yeah.
Most people here...
I give her 20 silver. But...
Yeah, that'll do. Most people sort of subsist on their agricultural farming techniques and whatnot, and then trade just a little bit. So there's not a lot of money passing around. So 200 copper is, she probably doesn't get many offers to buy goats outright. She usually just sustains herself. So this is a rare opportunity to make a proper sale for her.
And I think I just drink goat milk and honey.
Yeah.
And I'll try to keep this goat alive unless I start starving. Maybe forage for some wild bark or something. Could eat a few of my fireflies if I get desperate.
She will tell you this goat's name is Nonko.
Nonko. That's a cute name.
Mm-hmm.
Gear. Nonko the goat.
Wait a minute. What happened to the... Oh, it's the goatspot.net. That's where it is.
Goatspot? Did you look up the name of an actual pet goat on some goat website?
Yes, I did. Abraham Lincoln's goat was named whatever I just said. Nonko.
How do you spell Nonko?
Nanko. He had two goats. One was named Nanny, and one was Nonko.
What is that? Okay, we were not going to go down this rabbit hole.
It could also be Clay Henry, the famous beer-drinking goat from the Starlight Saloon. 370 great ideas for naming your pet goat.
Only 370?
Only 370. But they just give you the first 100 best names right off the bat.
Gotcha.
Lawson, the most famous of the Goats of Anarchy crew. I don't know what the Goats of Anarchy are, but...
Just stop. We've got Nonko and everything's good. How many hexes... Am I still moving? Did I go 2 or was that 1?
That was 1.
Okay.
And 2.
We're almost there. I will force march home.
You'll be resting anyway, so the con check is, I think, sort of moot.
Yeah, I make it there regardless. I think it will. I always get the penalties, right? The con check is just like, can you do it again, or do you need to rest?
It's can you continue moving the next time?
Well, I critically fail, so
yeah,
I must. I mean, it might make a difference if it were like, I don't know, if like if I had to flee tomorrow. But.
Right. But you are making it back to your home. You bring Nanko in.
I do, right? My parents begin to yell at me and scold me for disappearing, and I walk into the house with a new goat.
That's not our goat! Where did you get that goat?
This is Nanko. I purchased him in the hills.
Oh. Good job. And they'll hold out a twig of some sage for the goat to come and nibble on. Bring it in with the rest of the flock, who tends to reside in your house with you at night. Make sure it doesn't get too cold for them. Yeah, you got to bring the goats inside.
Do we just have like a big barn for a house?
It's a dirt floor house that gets filled with animals. It's a meager lifestyle you live here.
All right, we had originally described my scroll in being underneath the floorboards. I had said under the floorboards, and you didn't object, but it sounds like there are no floorboards. So can we retcon some viable alternative? Is it like buried in the dirt underneath a pile of underneath my bed mat or something like that?
I think that's going to be more apt to the situation. Yeah, there's a lack of,
or maybe there's like a single board.
Yeah, maybe you've got like a small wooden section for like cooking.
Well, no, I mean, I'm saying I added a board or something underneath my bedroll or underneath my bedroll.
Just one board.
Something like that.
So the scroll can hide under the one floorboard.
Well, it's in a box, but I'm just thinking it would be awkward to sleep on if it weren't flat.
Yeah. I'm sure Devon, in his infinite wisdom, can devise a way to hide the scroll.
I don't know. Do you get many viruses from goats?
Not unless you have huge numbers of goats in a very thickly populated area for a very long period of time. For viruses to make the jump from animal to human is quite difficult.
I also think goats aren't particularly closely related to us. Like, I don't think they're one of the primary culprits. I think pigs...
neither are bats, but...
And... Well, yeah, but you need a pangolin and a genetic engineering lab, and...
we get smallpox from cows. Yeah. We got smallpox from cows. We got something from sheep. I can't remember what it is. I bet you could... I bet it's possible for a virus to jump goats to humans.
Until I see evidence otherwise, I have never heard of a goat infecting a human with anything. So I'm gonna assume that goats are good boys, and we can snuggle up with them all we want.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry about it.
So I will roll up my bed sheet and pull out my magic scroll.
All right.
Is what's her name's cave another hex away, or is it on the outskirts of this? Okay.
Yes.
And I believe I'm out of movement.
Yeah. You arrived. You made your force march check and failed it. Not critically. So you arrive home exhausted. Here's a goat, remember. And then just.
Yeah. So I will just make sure my scroll is there, but study on the morrow. Is there any news or anything, or are they just like, "Hi, welcome home"? A goat and a snake.
Well,
I think I hide the snakes from them.
That's what I was about to say, is that they're little, they don't see the snake. They're surprised to see the goat, and you've been running around doing all sorts of things. You did rescue the chieftain's daughter, the elder's daughter here. Mm-hmm. And your family is surprised to see you back so late. They will tell you that everyone's been waiting for you to return because you did rescue
I returned since I brought her back, and then I was like, I'm going to go
get revenge, yeah.
Get revenge, yeah.
Yeah. So they're eager to hear your tale, but I think you're exhausted and crash.
Yeah.
So we can go to the next.
I should gain HP. Do you not gain HP after a force march?
I don't think so. I think you need some level of rest for that.
All right. then I think I would like to study all day. What can in seclusion, place of peace and quiet. So I will take Seltzer's scroll, wander far enough outside of town so as to not be disturbed, but close enough so that I don't like strain myself journeying there and back. So I stay in the hex, I sneak away and go spend the day and study if I can.
Sneak away. You head like uphill a little bit, and there's that water source where like the water kind of comes out of the hill, almost like a quanot.
Yeah.
And
oh god, my willpower rolls are so bad.
Yeah. When Platos whispers in your ear, or like, comes out of your shirt and curls up near your head, excuse me, and says, "This is the spot. This is the cave. This is where the tower will be built."
These are your people, Platos. You may not poison their water.
No. Not to poison, but to rule.
I investigate this little... What did you call it?
Quanot?
A quanot. What is that? Is it like a spring?
It's like a horizontal well that you would like use on a hillside to tap into the water table before it like lowers down.
Oh yeah, we talked about these in Dicing with Death, I think.
Yes.
Tried to find one outside of Solstice, but got murdered by hobgoblins on the way.
Yep. They are invented.
So this is the outlet?
Outlet?
Is this the outlet of the quanot?
Yes.
Okay.
Although
is
I guess
there any structure?
A quanot would actually have a structure to it. This is like a natural seep that could be improved to make a quanot, but isn't quite there. It's more like a naturally occurring spring.
Okay.
I guess a spring means water comes up from underground. This is coming from the side. It's close to a spring, but not quite. There's probably a term.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Well, this seems like a good enough place to study in seclusion. So I will hunker down in this spring and study.
You study. Is that what
NECA is now an expert on goat-borne illnesses. So keep up the good work there, NECA.
Leptospirosis? Sounds familiar. What is leptospirosis?
That's what you got when you slept with that goat last year.
Oh, well.
So I would like to learn some spells and rest, and depending on what you have planned, I will be studying for probably weeks.
Well, I think that is fine. We'll take it a couple days at a time here because you have plenty of room. Your family sort of stops badgering you about herding goats. They can tell that there's something different going on, that you are not a typical child. Your visits to Atropos' cave, which they have long shunned you for, seem to be changing your very nature. And they are kind of curious to see what happens. Not to mention, everyone's hailing you as the hero of Necrot now, and everyone's treating your family with a little bit more dignity and respect. People are helping your mother carry water to the house instead of just letting her do it on their own. People are clapping your father on his back as he walks through the streets. You have siblings? If so, they are being like reverse mocked, where kids are like playing Romulans and heroes or something like that, with your siblings getting to play the part of the hero if you have younger siblings, but I'm not sure. Anyway. Go ahead and what do you want to do?
I would like to learn some spells.
What spell would you like to learn?
I think I'll start with Shadow Snap, because that seems like a cool spell.
Yeah. So that is a second level. It'll take you 2d2 days to learn. And I think any time you are learning spells, that definitely counts as studying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what shall we roll? 2d2 or the spell chance?
I think we rolled the 2d2 first, and then the spell chance.
4 days. Ouch. And I think I will probably get max MP in pretty quick.
Yeah.
This is study with quality sleep, so 4d13. 2. Yeah, I'm full MP by that day.
That is a very nice roll.
That actually would have gotten me from 0 to full.
And let's get
for the
that
record,
chance.
your level 2 spirit armor sucks, and
we talked about this, and it needs to be changed. Yes, I keep forgetting to update it.
Or made into a level 1 spell or something.
Yeah.
That's fine. And then I get to roll my spell learn chance, which is 70.
70 or below. Very
Success. Nice. So I learn Shadow Snap. Oops.
I have recently relearned that I have an easy way to add these to your character sheet, but I had forgotten about it, and so I was doing it the needlessly difficult way. This is much better. There we go. Now it's added to your character sheet. Now I don't have to do any manual database changing.
Sweet. Well, so anyways, that's 4 days. Do I gain 4 HP?
I believe so. Yep.
Max MP. Does anything happen in those days?
I don't think there's anything that would cross your radar as worthy of mention.
Okay.
Like, you'll be invited one evening for dinner with the elder of the village, and they will serve you a meager meal of... I guess it's not a meager meal. This is a great meal because they're actually killing one of their goats to give everyone a little bit of meat with their rice and their beans. So that's pretty good. You can chat with the
not
elder.
Nonco. They didn't eat Nonco, did they?
No. They killed one of their own goats.
Okay.
You can chat with the elder and his wife and his kids and his granddaughter.
Yeah, I mean, I will tell them of my journeys.
Huh?
Tell them of heading south, bringing tidings of the Romulans' sins against the gods and their neighbors. How the gods curse their waters and stain them red with blood. I skirmished with the Romulans and was taken captive.
How?
But escaped. Yeah.
How did you curse their waters?
'Twas the serpent spirit, Platos.
The old man nods, thinking about this.
Yeah. The curse that I lifted from our neighbors, the Grecans.
Moved the curse from the Grecans to the Romulans. Zing. A fine lad.
The Romulans worship war. Bellum.
See, Persephone, why can't you find a man like this?
My olive skin blushes red.
She similarly blushes and hides her face.
That was a bit of a non sequitur. Here I was telling him about the nature of his enemies, and he's trying to set me up with his daughter.
Yeah. The Persephone's mother does like an eye roll and makes some side comment about how, despite being old, despite his many years of wisdom, the elder of the village lacks a little bit of subtlety. Anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off quite so
that's
much.
fine. I think your NPC cut me off.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the end of the actual information giving, and we awkwardly make small talk, and I excuse myself and leave.
Do you show Platos off to these people? Is he just like chilling in your robes somewhere?
What is he like? Does he move into the to the spring, or does he follow me around?
He is following you around, but I think after you finish learning Shadow Snap, he will mention to you that he does need a place of his own if you're going to keep him. You can't just hide in your cloak forever. No, a snake's got needs.
Does he stay in my cloak, or?
Yeah, I think he'll curl up on your arm or around your leg or nestle in your clothes.
I think I would have set him up a little. I'll set him up a shrine in that near the spring.
Perfect.
I don't have a good way to build it or any relevant skills here. Let's see. Nope. So I will have to make it the old-fashioned way.
All right. By hand, stacking stones together, making mud brick little buildings. You will be visited by some of the people in the village who ask what you're up to.
One day, there will be a great tower here, and a quanot, and water will flow from beneath the earth. For now, I am building a small shrine to our guardian spirit, Platos. Shall I roll a charisma check or something? Is that what you're trying to resolve?
I was resolving their reaction. If you'd like to add a charisma check to it.
Passable.
Yeah. They hear what you say, and they believe you. After all, you are the man who spends time with JacobH.
Do I get volunteers to help build this little shrine or something? Or perhaps the quanot?
They will assist you a little bit, but most people are busy during the day, and they don't have a lot of free time.
Do we have a stonemason or anything of the sort in our midst? Or
everyone sort of is like a quarter of a stonemason, or a brick maker would be more like it, because everything I think is mud brick here.
A mud scooper.
So you'll like pack your mud bricks into these little shapes and leave them out in the sun to bake for a couple of days, and then stack them together to make a thing.
Is there anyone who is particularly skilled in these arts?
Certainly, yeah.
Like if there's someone who shows up to ask what's going on, who's like the best mud packer in town,
there is.
I would attempt to recruit him.
Yes.
Or her.
There is a man named Akitos.
Yeah.
And he has built his house with a different strategy. He used packed earth instead of mud brick. And so he'll like use some sort of structure to like build a mold and then like put earth on it and then like tamp it down really, really, really hard and makes slightly thicker walls.
So
but usually they do a better job of.
Usually you would put straw in the middle as insulation, and then like have mud brick on the outside. What is it? I stayed in an Airbnb that was made that way. It was called like it was just a straw house. Mud brick. Straw bale house. Hate straw bale house. Is that a thing?
Perhaps.
Bale house. Yeah. So you like take straw bales and stack them like bricks, like enormous bricks, as insulation, and then you put mud or mortar on the outside.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if you see some of these pictures.
Yeah.
Of them finished. And they're way cheaper than standard construction and actually like better insulated. And they stand up pretty well to fire and whatnot once they're mortared on the outside.
Yeah, because the outside, if it's earth, it's not really going to burn. I assume it's like earth and concrete mixed together or something.
I think it's like mortar or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like stucco. I don't know.
That is a very cool technique. I was referring to called earth packed walls, which is slightly different. You just like put a bunch of wet earth.
Oh, apparently this is a thing.
And tamp it down, and then add a little bit more and tamp it down really fucking hard.
Oh,
you get
wow!
Like layered.
These are really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just talking out of your ass. That's actually a thing.
I'm talking about real shit. Watch,
Rammed Earth.
Most Extraordinary Homes on Netflix, everybody. They've got a rammed earth house in a California desert that is gorgeous.
They probably have a straw bale house episode.
They might. We haven't gotten through everything yet. I'm still making my way through it. Pretty sweet.
This looks and like layering different colors.
Different colors, and you can do some cool shit if you want to get fancy.
Do we want to name this guy?
Yes, Akitos is his name.
Akitos, you are the greatest builder in our village.
I am.
If you are not too busy, perhaps I could hire you to begin construction of this monument.
Well, we are busy, but for the savior of Persephone, I would be willing to make a very reasonable trade. Tell me what you need and see what we can do. What do you want from him?
I'll trust in his artistic eye, but well, for now we need. I think they found me building this shrine to Platos, so we'll start there. But I think he could build out the structure of a quanot. Seems like a good place to start, and eventually a tower on top. And I have wealth to pay him that seems like it's hardly worth anything except for buying goats.
Yes, he will take that because, his day is normally... He's not a goat herder. He has a small garden that he tends to, so he uses the water from the spring quite frequently, and his whole family does, small-scale gardening stuff. They've got like an acre, or really a half acre that the six of them work.
You garden, right? If we built out this spring into an aqueduct, just think how much more efficiently you could garden. I have gemstones, and then I have a few copper and silver. I don't know if there's anything special about these gemstones, or if I'm meant to save them for something. But maybe I'll give one out as a token of his labors.
I think they are probably spell components for one of the spells.
Oh, were they?
Infinite Scroll.
Do they require? Let me see.
But you probably have more gemstones than you need, and you might.
There were 2 bags, one of 10, one of 20. If there's spell components, I don't think I want to.
Yeah, you don't need 20.
Oh yeah, minor. Disintegration can disintegrate them. Okay, Watchful Ward requires 400 GP gemstones and 2 carved faces.
Yeah, that's a pretty fancy spell.
Though. That's pretty much it. Do I know which of these gemstones are worth what? I guess I have no idea, huh?
Probably not. No, there's not much of a market economy here. It's pretty bare bones living. I think things like gemstones would have like a question mark for value in a time and era like this. You get to a certain level of, I don't quite want to call it primitiveness, but of undeveloped economy, and the value of certain things just becomes too hard to pin down and too subjective to have a straight price.
Okay. Well, I'll give him one of the 20 gemstones.
Okay.
And
yes, you will give it to
work
him.
On the Quanot.
And he will pass it off to his son and daughter, eldest son and daughter, and tell them to take this gemstone and head to one of the nearby villages to trade for enough food and supplies that he can properly work on this without having to worry about abandoning his fields for too long.
Mm-hmm.
So the son and daughter will head off to Grekos and to another nearby village, hoping to purchase food, supplies, tools, maybe get someone to bring some lumber over here. The people of Grekos live near-ish to some trees. He'll need a little bit of lumber for this project. For the Quanot project, definitely. So off they go with the gemstone in hand to try and get some timbers, get another bucket, maybe get a better shovel. He's got like little gardening trowels, but not much in the way of proper shovels. Don't even have like a plow for their fields. They have to actually hand plow. Yeah. Anyway, that is that.
So
was there another spell you wanted to learn?
Yeah. Does Arcane Spray, is that a single target spell, or is it everything in an AoE? Points at a target within range. Just the way it describes a spray makes me feel like it almost sounds like an AoE, but not quite.
Right, so it'll target one creature within 30 feet of you. Because it's like a small cone of spraying, so it'll be able to hit one thing. Perhaps if that thing, like, if the target fails their saving throw, the more... Okay, so... this does use that weird version of saving throws.
Yeah.
So if, I guess on a success, the person would dodge it, and perhaps it could hit someone behind that person. Since it's like it is directional, and it'll continue until the end of the spell. So.
Okay.
This is another one of those weird things that might be really cool or might be way overpowered and broken.
Yeah, I'll try to learn that. Or maybe like if the damage doesn't if the maximum damage is higher than the damage the creature takes, a creature's in a line behind it might be eligible.
Might go
I don't know. I'll lawyer if the case arises, but right,
yeah.
Like say I roll well and they roll well, and it's like there's 20 missiles, but they only take 10 of the damage or something. And there's a creature directly behind them.
Mm-hmm. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how much damage it winds up doing. Because
Yeah.
if it only seems to dish out a few damage to a single target, it doesn't seem to warrant a second level spell. But if it's on average doing 20 damage to a single target...
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the difference between the rolls that determines...
you'll roll a d20 plus your int plus twice your level. And then they roll a d20 plus their int plus twice their level.
Plus their dex plus twice their level.
Oh yeah, their dex plus twice their level. And then the difference between these two is how much damage they take.
Interesting.
So it could be super high, or it could be literally nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think to add shield into that roll.
Add shield?
So I'm imagining a creature hiding behind their shield to deflect the magic.
Ooh. Yeah. Good idea.
I was thinking of using this against Remus or something in his metal shield. I don't think his metal shield would necessarily count as metal armor to reduce it by half.
No, because metal armor is what's on your body.
But I think it would give like a +3 or +2 or whatever his AC bonus is to his dex roll.
Sure.
I'm going to go ahead and study that one. So it's in their 2d2. 3 days. I guess I don't actually... Mechanical studying doesn't actually matter. Right, so I don't need the extra MP gain, so I can be if I get interrupted by the construction project, I can have a conversation mid spell learning and tell him to do whatever and leave me alone.
Yeah.
So I'll be near the spring.
Okay. Farther enough away that you can study your stuff, but still glance over from time to time.
I don't really want to glance over from time to time, but it's more if I was if I was trying to gain MP, I would want to tell him to leave me alone.
Right, but you're just learning your spells, so it's a little fine. Yeah. And that was 3 days?
Yes. And I succeed. So that was Arcane Spray. Oops. Whoops.
And was there a third spell you wanted to learn?
I need to keep healing, and yes. Let's see. It's a lot of good stuff. Conjure simple object is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Magic key. There's some cool stuff. Ceiling ward seems pretty similar to
Fire trap, right?
Yeah,
but a little bit different. It's an attempt to make a slightly better fire trap, like one that's more well written, not so confusing.
I was looking at Mark of Recall for my scrolls, but I would need to be way too high of a level for that to be useful. 30. I would need to be level 30. Cool.
Level 30?
1 pound per level, yeah.
Oh, right, for your scroll. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do want to. The Watchful Ward is also a cool thing that I'll eventually set up. But
yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Locate landmarks, pretty cool.
Well, while you look at these things, why don't we take our first break right here?
Sure, sounds good.
And we will come back on the other side with a little bit more Dicing with Death.